Right, it's another edition of the Way Out Here podcast presented by Washed Up Network and always sponsored by Manscaped. You can go to manscaped.com, get 20% off plus free shipping on all your orders. The Manscaped 3.0 just came out earlier this month, so you want to go cop that. We all have Manscaped and we use Manscaped, so you should too. So 20% off plus free shipping if you go to manscaped.com and use code WASHED. Make sure to use code WASHED or you don't get the 20% off plus free shipping. If you pay full price, you're an idiot. So go like the Way Out Here, boys, and get 20% off plus free shipping.
Trying to hook everybody up here, man. We're just
I'm just trying to save people money. Is that a problem?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Go to manscaped.com, use code WASHED.
Like Robin Hood for your nutsack.
That's a perfect plug. We might be in the next Manscaped commercial. Who knows?
Oh, man, that'd be sweet. Sign me up. Put me
We're
in,
here
coach.
for the giggles. We're here for the giggles. All right, well, we just got past the 4th of July weekend. 4th of July weekend, it looked like a lot of states had fun. Lighting off fireworks and going against everything and every laws possible, especially Idaho and California. It looked like they had a hell of a time. How was your guys' 4th? Anything fun, anything memorable happen this 4th of July?
Nothing too crazy. 4th was cool. Just hung around with some friends and drank some beer. Only thing you can really do on the 4th, celebrate everybody's independence. So, but yeah, just kept it low key. Barbecue, hung out, so nothing crazy. What about you, Matt?
I did absolutely nothing. Flew my drone a little bit. Living the dream. Drone flying.
Yeah, these drone vids are getting a little outrageous.
They're getting pretty spicy.
They are fire.
They're pretty spicy.
Fire.
Yeah. Other than that, I just kind of stayed home with Flex because I know he doesn't like the fireworks. Fun fact, though, they actually make. I think they're made with like hemp. These like hemp dog treats. They're like calming dog treats. And
oh, damn.
They worked pretty well. Like, he wasn't barking very, very much. So, fun fact.
Dude, I know.
Hemp treats for your dogs.
Dude, that's perfect. I know there are some people who give their dogs like CBD gummies. Mm-hmm. It's like very, very low grade. Yeah. It's not like you're giving like human CBD gummies to dogs and knocking them out. But people on the 4th of July give like CBD gummies, which is kind of the same deal as the hemp deal. But it helps dogs chill out for the 4th, so they're not freaking out with all these bombs going off and mortars going off. But yeah, it helps a lot. Is there any 4th of July preference for beer? I know that we try to keep it American, but it's hot out there, so you need to like be careful. Obviously, you got to drink a little bit of water, mix in a cup of water every now and then. But any preference on 4th of July beer?
Well, I usually stick to Coors Light because it's basically half water, half beer. So kill two birds with one stone.
You can't go against the Twitter bio. So
no, I'm a Coors Light fueled athlete. It's official. Coors Light, if you're listening, please sponsor me. I will rep it on everything I own.
As he has a Budweiser flag in the background.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that thing. That was free.
Yeah, we'll put a Coors Light one up. We'll be sellouts. We don't care.
Oh yeah.
You sponsor the pod, and we'll do whatever you want.
Hey, if Coors Light sends me a flag, I'm gonna hang it up right here next to my American flag. So I'll throw that Budweiser one away.
Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear. All right, 4th of July, always a good holiday. It was kind of weird that it landed on a Saturday this year, but hey, what can you do? Everybody got Friday off, which was cool. So
nice.
3-day weekend. I thought for some reason in my brain, I was like, there's no way everybody gets a 3rd off because that's not a holiday, right? But, it sounds like companies across the country gave everybody the Friday off, and having a day off is as American as apple pie. So we loved having Friday off. In other news, UFC 251s this week. The Way Out Here boys got a big live stream going on. We're going to be live streaming for a couple of hours for UFC 251. The biggest news, Masvidal is taking that place fighting Usman. So, Taylor, take it away here. What are you most excited for? And, what can't you be excited for here?
I don't know. That card is stacked. Everybody on that card is fighting well. There's 3 title fights for sure. You got Usman fighting Masvidal, which technically it's almost 2 belts because Masvidal still holds that BMF title too.
Oh,
and I know that Usman was talking smack, saying that if he beats up Masvidal, he's taking that BMF title with him. And
dude, I would. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a good fight. And then you got Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo, which is gonna be a solid fight. This is going to be Jose Aldo's 2nd fight at 135, and his last fight was actually really good. He fought a former champion, and he went 5 rounds with them, and the judges kind of ended up taking his knees out on the cards. Everybody knew that it was a bad call. Even Dana called the judges out, said that was a horrible, horrible decision. So I think that's why he ended up getting this match against Peter Yan. And then Paige Van Zant's coming back. So that's a good one. That's actually going to be a really good fight. Hopefully she makes it to the end of the week. She's always kind of been injury prone, so we'll see. She's there.
Same girl
so.
that, like, is that the same girl that hurt her like calf or her hammy and still fought the whole fight on like one leg? That might not have been her. But
I know she broke her arm and fought a whole fight. She shattered her arm against I can't remember her name. I want to say it was Rose. Fought that whole fight. She ended up losing the fight, but she like fractured her arm. She had to get surgery on it, and then she had another fight like maybe 8 months later scheduled. Broke the same arm again in sparring. So then she was out like another like 6 or 7 months because of the rehab it took to fix her arm. So now she's back. It'll be a good fight. Paige is awesome. She's like one of the girls I've followed for like since her beginning. So, I mean, she's really cool to watch. And then I think the most exciting fight that I am looking forward to, though, is going to be Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski. It's going to be
all these names, man. Dude, this is crazy.
Dude, this card is stacked. And this fight is going to be insane because Holloway has held that 145-pound belt for a long time. He's actually held it for like 2 years, I want to say. And he's defended it multiple times and just like walked through people. So Holloway is like no joke. And then you got Volkanovski, who came up from the bottom and just smoked Holloway in their first bout against each other. It was a really, really good fight. So that one's going to be a one to watch for sure.
This is so crazy. I can't believe they're all on the same card. And the most like interesting part of this whole thing, besides having all these badass fighters, is that it's on Fight Island. So they released that video of Fight Island. It's like outside on a beach. I saw their huge like hashtag UFC Abu Dhabi sign. It's absolutely insane. I mean, it looks like the island was created specifically for UFC.
It looks like, you know those like Mortal Kombat or like Tekken games? It literally looks like one of those just like crazy levels. You're like, oh, this would never happen in real life. Dana's like, bet, and just dropping loads. Let's get it going. So it's gonna be cool to see it.
You know those different games? It's like NBA 2K and all those. You can create your arena and stuff. I feel like Dana did that in real life and was like, all right, here we go. It's like create your own golf course and stuff on PGA Tour. And Dana's like, bet, I'm going to do it on UFC 251. Let's do this.
Best card to do it, man. Best card to do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they stay there. Like, honestly, like even after like the COVID stuff is gone. I mean, obviously Vegas is a big draw, but Fight Island is pretty freaking awesome. So
I'm sure that he's going to use that for a while. It'll be used more than once for sure.
I bet it'll probably be for like special fights, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, like bigger cards. So yeah, you're right. It will be, but it'll be cool. It's a cool change of scenery for a lot of people. It's going to be weird because you're not going to see like fans. Obviously, I don't think you're going to see fans. No,
probably
you won't
not.
see fans. But like even after this stuff clears up and people could come back to the fights, I don't think you'll see a ton of people at Abu Dhabi, but, you know, who knows?
You never know. Ever.
Yeah, ever.
So crazy. Well, you can catch The Way Out here, boys, on Facebook and Periscope here on Saturday. We start at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so we'll be reacting to all the fights. We'll be watching it all together. So I'm pumped to get that content out there, and you can see how The Way Out here, boys, react to all these crazy fights. And the main event, Usman and Masvidal. I mean, that BMF title, they should take. I mean, whoever wins that is crowned the BMF. You know, right?
Well, there's no just the lead up to this fight is like crazy because Masvidal's been talking smack to Usman for the last year and a half, 2 years. Like, it's going to be awesome. Masvidal is just like, he's just there to fight. This dude took a championship main card fight on a 6-day notice.
That's nuts.
Six days.
So
he's like, fuck it, get me in the plane. We're going to Abu Dhabi to whoop some ass.
When was his last fight?
His last fight was Diaz for the BMF title. That was the last fight he did.
And the fight before that was the Askren one, right? So his last two. Yeah, so the last 2 fights, he's just absolutely laid some wood on some people. The Diaz fight was a little bit closer, but the Askren fight was the fastest fight in UFC history with that knee to the face, and he was down in 4 seconds.
Oh, that was so pretty. It was so good.
My God.
That was a dead body on that canvas for a while.
He kept hitting him too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He
I
had
can't
like
believe
3
they
or
let
4.
him hit him.
Yeah, super necessary.
Dude, Chase Hooper, I saw him post on Twitter today. He goes, I still think that was an early call. And obviously trolling Ben Askren because he was absolutely dead on the mat for 20 minutes after that. They had to like delay the fights after it but Chase wrote on Twitter that it was an early call from the ref and he was still upset about it.
Yeah, so his last fight was November 2nd, 2019 for Masvidal or Maz, whatever it is.
Was that Diaz?
Yeah.
Because after that he won that title. And then he was like, I'm not taking any low-paying fights anymore. And, like, I'm going to get paid on it. Which, to his credit, this dude's been fighting since he was 19. He's like he's like mid-30s now. This guy's been fighting for 20 years.
Decisions.
I was going to say, he's 35-13-0.
He's put in some time.
That's nuts.
Dude, Masvidal's put in the work. That guy was fighting in backyards with Kimbo Slice. Like, there's multiple videos of him whipping dudes' butts at 19 years old, just putting hands on people. This guy loves to fight. So this one's going to be good.
Was there anything better back in the day of watching just terrible raw YouTube videos?
On World Star on Instagram?
There wasn't like unfiltered. There was just like no filter, nothing on there. It was just unfiltered Kimbo Slice whipping the shit out of people with a flip phone, and he was destroying people. Oh my God.
Oh man,
that was the best. That was like peak YouTube, like 2008, where the quality was terrible, but the fights were prime. So, oh my God, the best. Well, UFC 251 is going to be, everybody's so excited for it. So it's fight week already. When is the press conferences? Because usually that's like part of the excitement is the press conferences, people stealing people's belts, yelling at each other. They do like the first look. They take the weigh-ins basically. So do we know when those are?
The weigh-ins will be the day before. But the press conference I think will be
probably tomorrow, Wednesday.
I'd assume tomorrow, Wednesday, midweek is usually when they do it. But weigh-ins will be the day before, and then obviously because everybody hydrates the night after and gets ready to go down.
That's like one of the best things about Conor McGregor is his press conferences and his weigh-ins.
I love it.
That's why I miss Conor. Like, if anything else, you miss Conor for the UFC fights because of his press conferences. Throwing like water bottles at Diaz and shit like that. That was incredible.
Just stealing people's belts. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Just no holds barred all the time, which is the best. But all right. Quick pivot here to football. Patrick Mahomes just today actually signed a 10-year NFL contract worth, wait a minute, wait for it, $503 million. 10 years, $503 million he can earn over that time. I mean, come on.
What?
How? Yeah, how can you even find that much? I mean, when the owners come back and say that they can't pay for seasons and they need TV deals and stuff, I'm just going to look them straight in the eyes and say $503 million. Like, what? $503 million. That's asinine. You know what's crazy too is, like, everybody thinks that this is the only thing that they make. That's not including their shoe deals, their appearance money. Like, he can easily clear $75 million every single year. So he can be up there with like MJ once he's done. And on top of that, he's going to be 34 when this ends. He could sign a second contract that could be as crazy, you know, like, and he just came off a Super Bowl, so he already has a ring. So he's just going to be playing
and the MVP
as possible. Yeah. MVP, Super Bowl, signs a $10-year, $503 million deal. This guy is just high on life. Like,
at 24, could you imagine at 24 years? I couldn't. I still can't tie my shoes, but at 24, I definitely couldn't tie my shoes, let alone sign a contract for $500.
There's no reason that anyone should have that much money at 24. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. But Pat, he seems like a decent dude, though.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem like. He doesn't seem like a Johnny Manziel where he's like, I'm going to go blow this on coke and strippers. So,
Johnny Manziel, baby.
Dude, Johnny Manziel had $1 million and was doing that. So think about $503 million. So times that by 500, and then that's Patrick Mahomes. So I can't even fathom. I mean, most of us can't fathom 1 million compared to 500xing that and going to 503 million. And the craziest part too about this whole thing is it's $68 million signing bonus today. So like he signs on the dotted line.
He's set for life just by signing that.
Right. Yeah. Like he legitimately can just go off and do nothing. At signing $68 million. I mean, obviously he wants to earn the other 450, I'm sure, but $68 million just handed to you in one day is a pretty good day. I mean, if you're making $1 or $1 million every 30 seconds on July 6th, you had a pretty good day. So just insane with what's going on in the NFL. And we don't even know if there's going to be a season. Pat Mahomes just might have robbed a bank here. 68 mil, and he doesn't even have to play a game in 2020.
Well, that's what I thought that was kind of crazy about the contract is like he's a quarterback. At any given point, he can go down. Like with it, like with an arm, like he could do something to his arm, getting tackled weird, dude. Like he could be. Yeah, I mean that's that. And I was super shocked when I saw them because normally, like in the NFL, you don't see contracts like that big. Normally,
and it's all incentive laden. Like Richard Sherman signed a $18 million deal. He signed for $1 million guaranteed, so he had to earn the other 17. And a lot of people, hate him for that contract because that's not super typical. But aging players and stuff, they have to sign those. Pat Mahomes is an aging player, but same rules apply to some of these quarterbacks of like, hey, we're going to pay you $15 million guaranteed. You can earn up to 25, but like that's common. Russell Wilson signed a $25 million, or he signed technically like a $180, I think, $1 million deal over 6 years. So, I mean, and that was like, oh my gosh. And now,
because he was the highest paid quarterback, wasn't he? When he signed that? Yeah.
He was the highest paid quarterback. And then this young cat does triple that for 10 years. And Russell Wilson's like, wait a second. Who's my agent?
That's crazy.
10 years seems like such a stretch. Like, that's so long to be but obviously he's got the talent to stay at that team. Yeah. And they won the Super Bowl with that kid. Like they're like, oh, we got to keep you like forever and ever. There's no way they're
the one bad part about this too, though, is there's always Super Bowl teams always do it with somebody that's really good, but they're on their rookie contract. And so now I'm worried that he's taking literally a quarter of the team's salary cap. So you're going to have to figure out the other 10 positions on offense with 75% of the money that you had because you gave it all to Pat Mahomes. And then on top of that, you're going to have to do the other 21 players that are on offense and defense, and he's taking a quarter of it. So it's just a large commitment overall. And so I don't know if they could sign all these good players because he was on his rookie deal and making like nothing. I think he was set to make like $800,000 this year. Like it was like nothing. Now he's set to make $49 million on top of his $68 million during his signing bonus. So, it's a good day to be Patrick Mahomes. That's
a hell of a raise. I can tell you that. Holy crap.
Yeah. I want to be a free agent. That sounds awesome.
Sign me up. Put me in, coach.
Where do we get that kind of leverage?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Goodness.
Could you imagine? Actually, that's a funny like theoretical or hypothetical deal. Could you imagine if just normal workforce was like the NFL or the MLB, where you're free agents and teams and companies like you work for FedEx and UPS is like, hey, we'll pay you.
We just signed this guy.
Like, yeah, they give you like a fat signing bonus. You're like going to press conferences, like holding up like a UPS jersey and like posting it on Instagram and stuff. Like, signed with my rival today. Like, and teams are like cheering you in the comments, like "Welcome home," things like that. They're just bananas. But you can think about that all the time. It's like Jimmy John signed someone from Subway. And
oh my gosh, he's just got all the hats out on a desk, and he's like, "I'm signing with Pizza Hut."
It was like Jersey Mike's, like all these different sandwiches.
There's a cycle of it. Yeah, you could do like a national letter of intent day, like the college kids do. They pick a hat on the table, and then you get drafted. Actually, that'd be funny. Like, because you get to pick your college, but like you get drafted by your pro team.
There's a freaking sandwich combine.
Oh,
There's like a pizza box combine where you're legitimately like closing the pizza boxes. Oh my god.
Dude. Oh, what?
So
Oh,
funny.
it'd be even funnier for like tech companies, tech giants. They're like making them code really fast. They're like seeing how many words per minute they can type, and they're like clocking in and out. And with the first pick in the 2020 workforce draft.
Amazon selects.
Amazon would have the last pick of the draft. So
Dude, right.
it'd be like Yahoo selects.
Yeah. Oh, AOL.
Yeah. Bill Gates.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Whoever's listening, give us the best workforce draft that could happen, whether it's delivery drivers or tech companies. I would love to hear people's drafts that they would love to see on draft day, doing like a 15 company draft and they're drafting college kids or like they're drafting free agents.
Oh, yes.
Doing like mini camps. You get cut from mini camp. You just get fired from your job.
Oh, dude.
You do a spring training, you get cut.
How's this
Google's
guy
like, you just can't
stacking boxes? He got a 4-4 box stocking time. Dude, it's crazy as hell.
Dude, look at that guy's vertical. 64 inches. The guys the Jimmy Johns that they deliver in the city, so they're on their bikes. Like, oh, dude, this guy's got like a 24 mile an hour on average time. Like, we're gonna pick that kid up.
Bicycle.
Lateral movement's crazy.
Oh,
like
dude.
Uber Eats is giving them some times. It's like
Ooh.
Uber Eats, Postmates, all like Grubhub with the first pick in the 2020 draft.
Yup. You're right. You're right.
That would be incredible.
We all know.
All right, our last topic of the day, the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. I mean, I feel like we should all be verified at this point for breaking this news and actually calling this whole thing, because Ghislaine Maxwell finally got arrested after just disappearing straight up for, I don't know, like 2 years almost, and living the high life. So she was finally arrested, and she is just, in my mind, she's just as bad as Jeffrey Epstein. Like, she was orchestrating almost the whole thing, but she was finally arrested by the FBI. And it was Connecticut, correct? She was in the hills of Connecticut, I believe. I
think it was something like that.
I know New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, dude.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. Don't ring a bell.
Where?
Yeah. New Hampshire, I read this article that she basically bought this house under an LLC.
Yep.
So she didn't have to put her name on the house title. And so this real estate agent knew that it was her, but it was under a like shell corporation, like her and Jeffrey Epstein were doing when they were putting houses in. That's how Jeffrey Epstein like got away with not giving away any money in civil suits, because his money was tied in LLCs that his name technically wasn't on. So she did the same thing buying this house. It was like a $1.2 million house in the hills of New Hampshire. Super nice. I actually looked like a bunch of pictures. Super nice little log house. But she's finally arrested and she has COVID.
Coincidence?
Of course.
I think not.
So are we like taking bets now on when she's committing suicide, or?
Yeah, there was a tweet that said 4.5 days or over under. And I was like, definitely under.
Under.
I'm going to say over. I think it's going to be probably like 3 weeks.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, maybe the news dies down a little bit. They know when to strike.
Well, she got arrested because she's got charges against her for enticing minors from 94 to 97.
Which is a minimum of 10 years. So she's going to spend a minimum of 10 years. And how old is she? She's in her 60s, right?
58.
Yes. Yeah.
58? Okay. So if she gets 10 years, she's going to be at least 68 when she gets out. And then she could, that's not the only charge that's against her. She has like 7 felony counts of stuff. So it's going to be a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
In that article, they said that she's ready to talk, which just puts a big old target on her face.
That's true. It could be under 4.
Yeah, she's really going to tick that clock down quick because she's going to start opening her mouth up. It's so weird, like how long it took. I mean, obviously she was hiding, so that's why it took a while to find her. But Epstein got arrested in what? 08? Is that what we said? 09, something like that.
Yeah,
because
he got arrested.
He got charged in like 2000, like early 2000.
Right.
Nothing tied to her, and then he
was
got
in
charged
jail
again.
like 08 to 2013.
Yeah, and nothing happens with Ghislaine. She's just gone, and nobody's investigating her. And then all of a sudden, this documentary comes out, and everybody's like, "Hey, why aren't we talking to Ghislaine? Why isn't Ghislaine being questioned?"
It's true.
And then all three of us are like, "Dude, Ghislaine is the one running it. She was just as much a part of that whole sex trafficking ring as anyone else." And there's multiple girls that wrote in emails and stuff to I don't know, Netflix,
Probably news
and
outlets and stuff
everywhere,
like that. Yeah.
everywhere, saying that she was the head of this sex ring. And she was the one that was going and recruiting all these girls, bringing them back, being like, "Oh, he wants a massage," and then a happy ending happens, and then you're just like, "Oh, this is weird," you know.
And then you have to go back. You can go
Yeah.
back and go back because you don't have any money, and that was the
Yeah.
only source of income. So, I mean, I hope she spends the whole rest. I hope she spends the rest of her life in prison because she deserves it. She doesn't deserve any. I mean, what's going to explode is if she, for one, gets off somehow, or she does like 3 years and then gets out on good behavior or probation or some crazy thing like that. Because there was still stories where Jeffrey Epstein was sending her millions of dollars, like $20 million at a time, to her account. So when the federal government came after his money and froze his assets, that he would still have funds. So I'm guessing she has somebody similar that she's giving money to.
Oh, yeah.
Stocking money.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so when she gets out, she's just going to be living the same life. And we said it before. We said it in the previous episode. This sex ring is still going on. Like, if you think this just stopped because Epstein and Maxwell are in jail, like, you're hiding under a rug, you know? So there's just no chance that this is stopped. And so I hope actually, Taylor, Megan brought this up. What was that documentary on YouTube that had the kid that went missing off his pizza route?
Wasn't it like the milk carton one?
Yeah, the milk carton.
Yeah, it was the first
like
ever kid on the milk carton. And he was, you know, he reunited with his mom, and his mom wrote a super damning book on because it was in DC. So that was the craziest part, is the DC senators and House of Representatives were in on this. And the conspiracy is that it was tied to the Epstein Maxwell whole spiel.
Yep.
So this just goes on forever and ever. I mean, it really does.
It's disgusting is what it is. I mean, it's unreal how, see, the thing is too, is like people will see this. Like, I think after the documentary, everybody's like, why haven't we convicted these guys before? Like, why haven't we done anything about this before? But you got to think about this. Back in early 2000, Epstein wasn't bad. Epstein, to everybody else, was a rich dude who had younger girls hanging around him. The media is not trying to attack him. The media is not like it is in 2020. It's a completely different time, and he had money to spare. Like, that guy had this guy was tied to so many world leaders and higher ups in the U.S. government, the world government, like everywhere. And so Ghislaine has the same ties. So
if not more, honestly, because she was married to, or she wasn't married. Her father was a super high up media. He ran a media company over in England. So he was tied to even more people. So just that alone gives you so many connections that is crazy. I can't believe how many connections they had even after all this stuff comes out. Like, they still got away with so much, but even in 2016 when he went to jail, like, it's crazy that this article, like, there were people helping Ghislaine, like, get a house, have her hide in New Hampshire. You know, like, there's a lawyer that her LLC was tied to in Massachusetts. So, like, there was obviously that lawyer was helping Ghislaine have a shell corporation that was in the same building as him. So, like, it just never ends. I mean, there's just people that come out that you don't even know are part of this, and they have so many ties to so many different places. It's exhausting, honestly. Like, the guy who has the most to lose now is Prince Andrew, because like, everybody's on his heels hard. I mean, you can't go through an article that doesn't mention his name.
Nope.
So I can't imagine he's going to finagle his way out of this one, but we shall see, I guess.
We're going to see when she talks. If she
talks. Yeah.
If she gets that chance to blow the top off of what is going on for real, 2020 is going to be like the weirdest year to date. We've already had like probably the worst year in, I don't know, my whole life. Like, this is unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all this stuff.
I mean, we're in
month
month 4 of a global pandemic, so.
Global pandemic. We got riots. People hate each other. Everybody against everybody.
Oh, and it's an election year. So.
And, weird. It's an election year for Trump. So go fucking figure. But if Ghislaine blows the top off of this stuff, dude, she's going to mention a lot of names. Now, it's going to be interesting because Trump was friends with Epstein, right?
Yep.
So what are we going to hear? Are we going to hear everything that Clinton and Obama and all those other dudes? I mean, it's not just presidents. Like, I'm not trying to just name presidents, but there was a lot of higher ups, Prince Andrew, all these other people that were a part of this sex trafficking ring. Or are we just going to hear, oh, hey, Trump was friends with Epstein?
Oh,
we're going to focus on this,
we're going to hear the allegiance real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
So they allow her to talk, but she only says negative things about one side of the aisle. That's where it's going to be a huge problem. The truth is going to be, like, if she says the actual truth, it's going to be on both sides of the aisle, and it's going to be a bombshell. There's going to be names that come up that everybody's like, oh my God, like I didn't even know that that person was like that, blah, blah, blah. But if we start figuring out that a lot of R's are by the people's names that get mentioned, we're going to figure out a lot of things real quick. So
it's going to be weird. It's going to be something that everybody's going to need to pay attention to. Like, I'm not huge on politics. This podcast is not a political podcast.
No.
You guys want to talk politics, go to fucking Twitter and bitch at everybody else. But like, this is the thing. Everybody needs to make sure that they're just paying attention. Like, there's no reason to have to live under a rock and not pay attention to what's going on around you. This stuff will affect you directly, but it's going to affect people, and people just need to watch, because you're going to see the government either go one way or the other. They're either going to be like, hey, we actually got the truth and this is what's happening, this is what's going on, and we're taking care of it. Or, hey, so Trump was behind this whole thing, and you guys got to hate Trump, and you got to hate all these Republicans.
Yeah, I mean,
and all the right.
Like, we already know how far this spreads. If one guy gets named, or like 2 or 3 guys get named, and it's all in the same circle, it's like, all right, guys, like, the gig is up, dude. Like, there's no. We get it, but
we all saw the documentary, okay?
Yeah, we all saw the documentary. We all saw the people that were on the island. Like, you're not, we can't rewrite history here. There's no revisionist history going on. But my question to you guys: so if she starts ratting people out and like they start indicting tens of people, possibly hundreds of people, and the FBI starts just absolutely drilling people, do you think that she gets a pass? No. I mean, she can't get full immunity, but for giving all of these names, there has to be something.
She might get something close, but I don't think
incentive.
she'll get full immunity, but she'll get something probably like the 3 years, good behavior, you're off kind of thing. I bet. Yeah, has to be something like that. Like, she can't give these big of names. It's not like they're like nobodies. Right. I mean, these are some like big people in the political world and all around that, I mean, if those names get named, it's going to be rough.
Right. So
she'll get a deal. She'll get a deal if she rats.
Yeah.
They all do.
And I mean, to her credit, she's pretty good at hiding. So, I mean, no sweat off her back if she rats on people. Like, she knows how to hide, but she's still going to do time. There's just no way she doesn't do time. Like, with how polarizing this is and how much she's been in the media, there's no way that she doesn't get at least some time. And those minimums, because she's being tried in New York, I believe, in Manhattan. Yep. So New York has pretty tough, like, hard minimums on some of these sentences, where it's really not up to the judge. It's not subjective to anybody. It's, hey, you did this crime. You were found guilty of this crime. Here is 10 years minimum. Oh, you did it 3 times. Here's 30 years. So, like, that you know, they really don't have any say unless she cuts a sweet deal with people. And I don't know, maybe she gets the Epstein jail cell treatment and gets to get out from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then goes back to a swanky little movie theaters. But
Man.
I highly doubt that there's just no way that could happen. So
No.
with the Me Too movement so strong at this point, there's just so much money behind it too, which is good for the movement, because they can pay lawyers that can finally in civil suits can finally go after these people, because that was the biggest thing, is like this money was overtaking the truth, right? So hey, I can no longer pay for my lawyers to pursue this suit against people. So
Yeah, no, I agree.
oh man, I can't even imagine what this is going to. But yeah, I hope that she's on suicide watch or something. That's all I'm gonna say. Like,
Well,
I hope people have their eyes peeled.
I'm just saying, so was Jeffrey, except for those 2 hours that the cameras went down and his cellmate got moved. But you know, things happen. You know,
they cannot let that happen. Like, nothing can happen to her, or the world is going to literally explode.
It'll be eye-opening.
Part two.
Straight up, like there's still riots going on right now. I mean, there's going to be 2 different riots at the same damn time in the same damn city. So
yeah.
Oh gosh,
Stuff's gonna get a little haywire.
Yeah, I just want the world to go back to normal. Normal's good.
Normal.
Remember how good normal was? Everybody forgets. Normal was so fun. We had sports. I cried about the Mariners twice a week, and we all went back to normal. You know, the Mariners blew a 9th inning lead 3 times a month. I threw things at the TV for those short minutes, and we moved on. But now we can't even go outside of our homes. So here we are. All right, we're at segment time, boys. One whack thing. I know we missed the Thursday show. I know everybody was at the 4th of July weekend. We missed the Thursday show on purpose because we had so much content to give you on this wonderful Tuesday. So one whack thing is back. Matt, do you want to go first for one whack thing?
Yeah, so mine comes out of utter hawkhand.
Oh, that sounds fake.
No, it's I have no idea where it's at. This family woke up to find a 5-foot crocodile in their house.
Oh, bro. Come on.
Let's go.
Granted, in this country, I should say, not really surprised.
What, they just leave the door open or what?
I mean, they don't really have a door.
Came up through the toilet.
Like,
dude, have you seen the snakes? The snakes that come through the toilet? Hard pass.
Give me the heebie-jeebies.
I need a list of cities that happens in, or countries. Pass. Like,
let me tell you, just Australia. You ever seen those spiders in the toilet?
Oh God.
Oh no.
If you get spiders a certain size, you're automatically on my no-fly list. Yeah. I may be on your no-fly list. That's fine, but you are also on mine. So this goes both ways. But
hard pass.
Matt, tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, so they ended up like waking up and finding this crocodile in their bathroom, which the bathroom is not much of a bathroom, if I'm being honest. It's like a couple cans outside. But there ended up being like a crowd of people that they were unsuccessful trying to get the gator or whatever to leave.
So they let it into a house?
No. So they woke up in their house and there was the gator.
Oh. I thought a crowd of people were trying to like shoo it away and then let it to somebody's house. I'd be pissed at those people. I'd be like,
no. I mean, that's a great. So they were there to try to get the crocodile to leave the house that it was in.
I gotcha.
Okay, and then so they were unsuccessful. So a team of like their forest department over there, or whatever, ended up.
What a terrible job that would be,
dude.
Oh, nope. Hard pass.
Fourth crocodile this week that we've had to get out of a home. Where do you even begin? Where do you start?
You look in Louisiana on the river. That's where you start. Those people have. I don't care what anyone says. All those people with no teeth that just swim in the river with shorts and wrestle crocodiles all day are the scariest people alive. They have no fear.
No fear. Yeah. No fear. Which freaks me out even more for those people than it does for myself. Like, those I am more scared of that person that is not scared of a crocodile than I am scared of that crocodile, to be honest.
Yeah,
like
100%.
that person is a total wild card.
Yeah, that person talks.
It has thumbs.
Yeah.
And has a brain that's functioning. So, you know,
well,
you gotta keep on your
Dude,
toes.
yeah. Some of those
hold
people,
up.
I don't know if they have much of a brain.
Functioning is a
up.
loose term. I'll say it.
No. They're doing something, but
Oh my hell.
Unreal.
Why does this always happen? We're a
I
big
love it.
crocodile and alligator podcast. I think
those things are scary as hell.
somebody's gonna send us one of us a crocodile or a little alligator one of these days, just for fun, and we're gonna open up a Amazon package with some crap in it. So
I just want the alligator head that took Chubbs' hand in Happy Gilmore. Mount that thing.
Mount that thing. All right. Well, my one whack thing is actually animal related, and all of them actually are. So I don't know if anybody saw this on Twitter, but it was trending for quite some time this weekend about immortal animals, which I didn't even know that was a thing. But jellyfish come up on the list, which is fine. Whatever. Jellyfish are just weird creatures anyway. What's shocking is lobsters are on there. So scientists have been observing lobsters over X amount of years, and they have no idea how they actually die. They have an enzyme in them that regenerates blood cells so fast that they just basically are always youthful. Like they're all. It's like your body being like 15 all the time because your body's regenerating those blood cells, and so you never actually deteriorate over time. And so they said the only thing that they've observed in lobsters is when they have to grow out of their shell and they're like shedding, is sometimes that like the force that it takes to get the shell off is too exhausting, and they'll just die of exhaustion. That's it. Like they don't actually physically like die of old age, like get a certain disease unless they're out of their actual natural habitat. But insane, lobsters live forever. So
That's
fun
crazy.
fact.
The ocean's weird. That's weird. It's not real.
But that's just such a common, like lobsters are so common. So when you think of a lobster, you're not like, you don't immediately go, oh yeah, now the thing lives forever unless I eat it, you know? So it just blew my mind. I read this and I was like, wait a second. They can just legitimately live forever. Yeah. So it's a certain enzyme that they have that just regenerates all the blood. And they just basically they get eaten so often in the ocean because they're obviously not like a super
it's freaking lobster. It's super good.
Yeah. They either get caught or they die. So, and I mean, there's a bunch to go around. It's like a seafood special. So it's not like they're hurting in the ocean to live. I'm sure they're procreating just fine. I promise you. So
yeah, they're not extinct. That's for sure.
Not at all. All right. One whack thing, Taylor.
Yes. Animals. So
we didn't plan this, by the way, which is
no, we did not, which is actually hilarious. We were all talking about this at the beginning of the show. We were trying to decide what we were doing for our one whack thing, and we were all like, "Oh, we're all animal related. This is crazy."
Animal theme today on one whack thing.
Oh, dude. Well, my animal thing is disgusting and so weird. So in the Philippines, they actually let me back this up. All right, so there was a guy on Twitter who put a picture of this bat just like hanging. All right. If you look at the picture right off the bat, no pun intended, the bat, literally the bat looks like one of those Halloween costumes or like a decoration you'd put out in front of your house. They're just like, it's so big that it's fake. And you're like, oh, that's creepy, but weird. It's real. This thing is real. The caption on the picture was human-sized bat found in the Philippines. So these bats they're not technically called bats. What they're called is a golden crowned flying fox. It literally looks like a bat. It's also the
flying
size
fox. I mean, could we get any more confusing than naming an animal a different animal? Come on,
Philippines, get with the program. It's just a big bat, dude. This bat is the size of a 6-year-old child.
Oh, jeez.
Its wingspan can be as wide as 6 feet long. These things are unreal. And I actually retweeted it on my Twitter. If anyone wants to go check it out, we'll have it on the Way Out Here podcast Twitter page too, if you guys want to check it out. There's also a YouTube video within the Twitter thread that I put. But honestly, like there's pictures of these people that like hunt these things on a regular basis, and they're holding them up, and they're like literally half the size of their body. Like these are unreal. They look something out of like Van Helsing or something. You know what I mean? Just like unreal.
Well, it's just like those like camel spiders over in Iraq that are just
huge.
massive spiders, dude.
Yeah.
It's like the same. Oh God,
dude. Yeah.
I mean,
animals around the world are just like,
how did we get
crazy?
here?
Oh,
how did we get here? I feel like animals like that evolve over time too. It's like those animals were like smaller and now they're giant. Like what that freaks me out about like bears. Like bears are the size they are now, but eventually like they're probably going to grow, right? To survive an extended period of time and like survive on the earth, to not get eaten and stuff like that, or just to be the king of whatever forest they're king of, they're probably going to have to grow. And so do other animals like bats. I mean, what would you even do if you saw a 4-foot bat? Or
I'd run.
Dude,
I'd set the place on fire and I'd run.
I mean, it could for sure just pick you up, right? Like it's probably that strong. It's a 4-foot bat and it's flying. I mean, it could just pick you up.
I don't know.
Obviously, depends on how much you weigh, but like it's definitely.
Yeah, I don't know how much I weigh because I don't think a bulldozer could pick me up or whatever those things are called.
Oh my gosh. Dude, you don't have to worry, Matt. These bats aren't meat eating. They're
probably vegan or something.
They're herbivores. They eat like berries and leaves and shit. They're vegans. They are. They're the vegans. So
they're the vegans of the forest.
That's the scariest looking vegan I've ever seen in my life.
There's some pretty freaky ones out there. I don't know.
Oh, dude, this takes the cake, man. If I ever saw a vegan just hanging upside down like that, I'd flip out. Whew. Hard pass, bud.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, that's just not something that I ever want to see, honestly. I'm going to look at this picture for about 10 seconds after this, and that's going to be good. I'm going to check that off the list. But man, Animal Planet needs to sign us up next time. Jeez.
Yeah, dude.
We just go all the way around these.
Please put me on planet Earth. I would love it. Love it. That is like my dream to just.
Have you guys seen that show? Have you guys seen that show? They're doing like somebody has an estate in Alaska that's like 150, 200 miles from the nearest anything. Like it's literally a 25, 30 acre spot in Alaska. That's in the middle of nowhere. And they're doing that show.
Yeah. On Netflix, right?
Yes. It's like a survival.
I watched that. Dude, it's sick.
Dude, it's crazy.
No.
Right?
No. This isn't Alone.
Oh, damn it.
No, Alone is sick, though. Alone is really good, though.
I watched it. It was tight.
What is it called, Matt? Do you know?
I'm going to look it up really quick.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. So Hannah was watching this, and I just
good.
like come out in the living room at like 10 a.m. and get a protein bar, and she's watching this crazy show at 10 a.m. on like a Tuesday. I was like, what are you watching? And she's like, oh, it's like Survivor, but in Alaska, and if they win, they get this estate, but it's, I mean, they have to, it's like Naked and Afraid, basically, it looks like. I mean, they're basically just surviving over X amount, and they're not doing anything like wild, I don't think. Like, they're literally just trying to survive the land.
Yeah, so it's called, looks like it's called Win the Wilderness.
Okay.
And yeah, so basically it's 6 couples.
Okay.
So the people who own it now is a couple, obviously, and they're just getting old and they can't take care of it like they used to. And so these 6 couples go out there, and they actually there are professional like guides or survivalist instructors that kind of go through like what happens if you get into this situation. Just because they're so far away from everybody, they have to know a lot of stuff. And so these instructors are like evaluating these couples to see how good they are in like everything. And in the meantime, the couple who is giving away the place is like interviewing these couples as they come in, kind of. So it's really good. It's a sweet show.
But the survivalists are literally evaluating if they can even live on the land.
Yeah.
Like, you may get the land, but that doesn't mean you can actually live on it, because it's so desolate, and you have to literally, I mean, you have to like fish for your food. You have to do just certain things to live, remotely live there. So
it's crazy.
Wild to sign up for 8 couples to sign up for that show is crazy.
No, there was even more. That was just the people that like they selected that were even qualified to do it. I'm sure they had over a couple thousand entries, I guarantee you.
Yeah, I'm saying this is crazy, but I feel like Colton and Mackenzie, they already do this. So shout out Colton and Mackenzie from Throw Pillows and Finger Guns and After the Tailgate. I feel like they're already doing this, and I have no doubt, especially Colton's dad. He's like ex-military, and now he flies like a medevac helicopter in Alaska. So he's like pulling people out of mountain ranges and just insane things. I feel like they could do that. Yeah, no, that wouldn't. I mean, it'd be tough, obviously, but it's crazy that we possibly know people that could survive that. Because I would last about over/unders 4 hours on getting mauled by a bear and dying. So
yeah, same.
Pretty close. All right, one Wack Thing. I freaking love one Wack Thing. But Tuesday Mailbag, make sure you submit your questions every week for Tuesday Mailbag. You can DM each one of us. You can DM the Way Out Here pod on Twitter, Instagram, anything you would like. But we answer questions every other Tuesday, and then it actually replaces our top one on Tuesdays. But Tuesday Mailbag is today. So first question that we got, would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
I already can't read, so
I knew that would be one of your
answers.
I know. So
I'm just saying it right now. We all know, like, I can read good sometimes, but
a good read sometimes.
So ability to read or speak.
I think I would rather not be able to read. Even though it's pretty close to what I'm at now, like Taylor, I would definitely like to, because so you just can't, you still can see, reading? Right? You can still see, right? You just can't read anything.
Yeah. All right.
Say, what does that say?
But how many times are you going to have that opportunity? Like it would have to depend on like,
well, I'd hope I could find somebody that
what you're doing.
Like, do you think it would suck watching sports? Like you didn't know what the score was at all times?
Ooh,
that'd be kind of annoying.
Well, does
like if somebody
does counting numbers count as reading, or is that a different?
Yeah, but like if a team name is next to the numbers, and you're like, I guess you could go off colors.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could just watch the damn game and understand who's winning.
Even further ahead, how do you get to the game? Because you can't read where to go. Like, how can you watch the game? Dude, I guess like colors and everything like that. You could see like the apps and everything. But
yeah, voice commands might come in clutch for you at all times. Actually, how annoying though would it be to be with somebody that only listened to voice commands 100% of the time? Like, Siri, tell me this. Siri, tell me that. Like, you can't read on Google. You can't look anything up on Google. Like, Matt, you looked up like 3 things on the podcast today. If you couldn't read any of those, the podcast would be missing a lot of content here. Especially the last one with the Alaska Wilderness show. So I don't know. That'd be tough. I think reading's maybe underrated, but I think everything is. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd rather not speak. I'd rather be able to read. I want to know what's going on. I don't have stuff to say. I really don't have a lot to say at all times. And usually when it comes out of my mouth, it's not very funny. But I'd rather just fucking not be able to read. So.
I mean, Spin Zone, if we didn't have the ability to speak, Way Out Here wouldn't be a thing. So
I would just be signing.
Yeah, sign to our listeners, Taylor.
It's just like
it's just an ASMR stream from Taylor.
Yeah. We just have to put a caption up, and everybody can do it on YouTube.
Oh, true.
That's how. Yeah, but the podcast wouldn't exist, so a little Spin Zone. All right, second one. Would you rather be covered in fur or covered in scales?
Oh, scales.
Really?
Down.
That means you would definitely be in the water like 100% of the time. Obviously.
I have impenetrable skin. What do you mean? What kind of scales? Are we talking like crocodile scales? Are we talking like?
Oh, true. Oh, I guess you wouldn't have to be in the water. You can just be a scaly lizard.
Scales. Like fish scales? Oh, I'm going fur then. I'd rather go fur. But if we're talking like crocodile skin, I'm going crocodile skin. 100%.
Crocodile skin is not scales, is it? I guess it could be technically.
I don't even know what it would be.
Wait a second. First question. What are scales? Are we? Right. Oh my God. Do we not know what scales are?
Well, scales are what I step on and break in the morning, but.
Brought to you by Wash Up Network.
Brought to you by Weight Watchers.
Brought to you by Weight Watchers. Yeah. I guess I feel like scales are a lot more broad than we think. Like when it first pops into my head, I think of fish, but it can be
Same thing in Google. First thing, what are scales in fish?
Oh, okay. So
all right, fine. Then I'm going fur. I'm gonna change my answer. I'm going fur.
Taylor just wants to be a bear. I know you're thinking about a bear right now.
I want to be Bigfoot. I don't want to be a bear. I want to
Yes, thank you.
That's what I want to be. I want to be.
Oh, that's a callback to our 4th episode.
I'm not saying he's real, but if someone.
But if you were Bigfoot, then he would be real.
But if you're taking applications, I don't think it would be a bad option.
Yeah, sign me up, coach. I'm down. Put some fur on.
Yeah, I
me.
think I would take the fur too. Scales are kind of gross if you think about it. Like being all scaly it's not pretty.
Fish are slimy.
Slippery. You could be what do they call? I mean, it's like a mermaid for girls, but what do they call like a man that's a mermaid?
A
merman? Because you can be scaly, but you still have arms.
What was it? It was in SpongeBob. It was something in Barnacle Boy. Wasn't he like something?
It's Mermaid Man.
Mermaid Man.
Yeah, that's what it is. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Yeah, you're right. It is Mermaid Man. So I guess they just call it.
I know.
I still watch that shit.
Hell yeah, dude. SpongeBob's the shit. Dude, SpongeBob's awesome.
It's true. It's good. It's good.
Is SpongeBob still going with new episodes?
Yeah, he is.
No, really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's just a sponge who flips patties and can't get his driver's license. Like that's the whole show. It's awesome. It's the best show on TV. It was awesome.
Oh, seriously. I haven't watched SpongeBob in forever, but
there's 12 seasons.
Oh, so they're definitely not making new ones, right? Unless their seasons
they are though.
112 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Because it's the very first episode was May 1st, 1999.
What? And they only have 12 seasons?
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the episodes because there might be just like crap ton of episodes.
Yeah, I bet there's a ton of episodes. What if they legitimately have like 200 episodes in a single season?
Well, that's what I'm curious because.
Do you guys remember the SpongeBob movie?
Oh yeah, I saw
it
for my
gooba.
Oh man, that was such a good movie.
Dude, such a good movie.
So funny when Patrick like he gets his pants ripped and he's like running down the road. He's like, oh, and he like falls down. Dude, I laughed.
Oh, these are some good times I'm remembering. Actually, SpongeBob gave us a lot of hope.
Yeah.
So the series overview, it reads this: seasons 12, and then they have a segment section. There's over 500 segments, and then episodes. Wow. It's 20.
It seems like they're overcomplicating it.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
See, there's like an actual.
It just seems
number.
Like you could easily just say, "Hey, season 29."
But it's because they didn't come out. So it's not like the normal shows that come out every single week. It looks like they came out once. No, okay, so yeah, it looked like there was 2 segments a month. Sorry, yeah, 2 segments a month, which ended up being 1 episode.
So what?
Yeah.
So 2 segments is 1 episode?
Yes.
So there's 23 segments, so there's like 12 episodes a year?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Or no, it looks like it was.
SpongeBob's like bamboozling the shit out of everybody.
It's about 20, I think, is the average. I think 20 episodes.
Episodes a year? Mm-hmm. I guess that's normal. Like if you think of but SpongeBob's not like a high produced film. It's not like it's Chicago or a Law and Order SVU or something like where they got
a cartoon.
Yeah,
cartoon. No.
Wow, I didn't know that at all. That's interesting.
I didn't know that either. That's crazy to think about.
We were just watching the same SpongeBob shows every freaking
day.
week, and we had no idea.
That's so funny.
Because it seems like it literally comes out every day. Like it's a new cartoon every day, but we were just watching the same ones. Yeah, that's crazy.
The Alaskan bullworm. Oh, dude, so good.
I loved Sandy on there too.
She was the best.
She was awesome.
Dude, when she was hibernating.
Oh yeah, exactly. They like wake her up. I'm gonna get you, Dirty Dan. Oh no. Oh man, it's so funny. It's such a good show.
It really was. It really was. Matt, did you see when the last episode came out? Was it a while ago? 12 segments means or 12 seasons
So the last episode that came out was April 11th, 2020.
Of this year?
Of this year, yeah.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
episode 18 of this year. So I think it's because they have so many segments, those like 2 segments a month, and the show's only new once a month. So yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, so it looks like season 12 first aired in November 11th, 2018, and it says TBA next to it. So it's obviously to be announced when that's crazy. So this season's been going on for
I know that,
2
like, congrats
years
to them on overcomplicating the absolute shit out of something that should be super easy.
Yeah,
just say a year is one season. Just give us. They're on their 23rd season. Why have segments? Like, why? And then they have sub segments, and then they have sub episodes.
Dude, it's all. I'll have to send
Holiday
you
episodes.
guys this like Wikipedia page on Matt because it breaks everything down. If the listeners get a chance to look at this, it's super weird how long. Just everything.
We might stumble
It's
upon a
super weird.
SpongeBob conspiracy theory here.
Oh, what are you doing, Nickelodeon?
Yeah, Nickelodeon. I see you segmenting all the SpongeBob, giving us little segments. All right, that was it for our Tuesday mailbag. We talked about SpongeBob, but the question was covered in fur or covered in scales. I think we all went fur.
Yeah,
So,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, over scales. We
sure.
barely got
my
to.
honey.
we almost didn't get to the fur scales because we didn't know what scales were at first, but we found our way. We made our way there. But
We talk about alligators and fish every week. Don't even know what scales are.
Actually, that's true. We almost thought alligators had scales for a little bit, which I still don't. Yeah, they might at some level have scales, but not the scales that we're thinking about. Who knows? But all right, that's our show. Thanks for listening. We appreciate everybody. As always, we're sponsored by Manscaped. Make sure you go to manscaped.com. Use code WASHED. You get 20% off plus free shipping. And we'll be back on Thursday. Hannah Fitzpatrick is going to join us on the show from Throw Pills and Finger Guns. We're super excited to have her. I know we teased her last week, but she's finally going to be on the episode this Thursday. So we are pumped about that, and we'll see you on Thursday.